I need my caffeine injection. That's more like it. So, let's talk about No Man's Sky. I didn't sleep at all because I went to a very good friend of mine whose kids and wife were away for the weekend. And so he called me over to catch up because we hadn't seen each other for 3 months, and of course to play some games because we are both very keen on gaming, and he's even crazier than I am, and he spends much more money in particularly in upgrading his PC, his gaming rig. So he has built a beast of a system that can execute fluently even the most demanding of games. Or at least that was what we thought, because as soon as he finished downloading No Man's Sky and starting it up for the first time, we soon realized, very soon, from the very few moments, that unfortunately the PC version is buggy as hell, and it's very poorly optimized for the PC. And the irony is that the system of my friend is extremely powerful. He has I think it's a 5820. I think it's the X99 platform, a 6-core processor. It has a dual 970 SLI graphics, 32 gigs of DDR4. The primary storage is an M2 disk, which is blazingly fast, and he actually installed and ran the game from an SSD. So everything theoretically was pointing to a very hopeful and positive gaming experience, which nevertheless was not what we experienced. So we spent more than 10 hours playing this game. Most of the time he was controlling the game and I was watching her. Essentially we were experiencing the game together, and we soon discovered that although it requires an internet connection because it connects to a server, and although it requires an online connection, the experience is strictly it's a single player experience. There's no multiplayer aspect. So the game starts. The whole feeling of the game is a feeling of very shallow, very unpolished. The graphics are sometimes they fool you with some distant vistas and some with their very vibrant colors and some instances of the game that resemble what we had seen in demo videos and static screenshots, but watching it in action is very disappointing, because even though he could boost the resolution to 1440p, very high resolution. The textures are of very low res. There is constant popping of and clipping. The draw distance is very short, and you cannot extend it. And actually, the SLI was not enabled. There are no drivers for NVIDIA, as far as we checked, last night. The game would crash every 15 to 20 minutes, and a couple of times the whole system froze and we had to reboot the machine. And so it was very technically, it's a very poor execution. There was although there are sliders in the options that you can increase the frame rate to 60 FPS and beyond, there is constant stuttering. The game would freeze uncontrollably when you are on a planet, when you are in a base or a space station, and the surrounding is not procedurally generated. Then the frame rate is smooth, the animation is smoother. But when you are on a planet, and most of the time you are on the surface of the planet, the stuttering is awful, and the textures are low res. The different the landscape, the objects of the game are crude. The graphics reminded us of the past generation of machines, Xbox 360 graphics level. Sometimes there's plenty of variety in planetary conditions. We encountered snowy planets, we encountered planets with heavy rain, with different levels of radiation. But almost half of the planets were barren and devoid of any meaningful life and action. They were just flat out boring. But what was most notable is that the whole feeling that the game gives you is of a very claustrophobic and a very a strange feeling that this universe of 18 quadrillion or quintillion planets that they used to tell you, all this universe is a very stylized and very cartoony universe. It's nothing like Elite Dangerous. Elite Dangerous gives you a very convincing feeling that you're traversing a huge universe. You have really the impression of the vastness of the immense distances. Here it's just you're going from one sandbox area to the next. The individual star systems are presented on a very vague map, and this is the other bad thing about the game. There is a very confusing topography. You have this starry, a local group of star systems, but you can you move with hyper jumps from one system to another, almost as if you have a pawn in a tabletop game in a Monopoly, and you move from one system to another. And each system, there is no sense of there's no star. You cannot approach a star. There's no star. There are only planets, and you can see the planets when you enter a system and you move the ship around. You can see all the planets. They're in visual range, which is very unnatural. This could be a child's inception of what the distances between the planets and the relative sizes and distances are. It's not realistic at all. And almost in every system, the background is not as it was supposed to be, a deep dark background in a star field with the occasional nebula or spiral of the galaxy, the backbone of the galaxy. No, it's like you are in you see a colorful backdrop, and you feel you are inside the cocoon of an enclosed space, which immediately somehow diminishes your initial excitement about the vastness of this allegedly huge and vast expanse. So yeah, it was the gameplay itself is from what we could gather in, because we played almost non-stop, and there was no story. There's no there are no you know, there are no set situations. There's not it's all there are fragments of quests and fetch questions. You have to gather this this and this and this mineral in order to upgrade your machine. First you have to fix your starship that is marooned on the planet. Then you have to upgrade your mining gun, which also doubles as an offensive weapon. You know, it's so boring and repetitive. At the beginning you fool around, you walk around the planet. Sometimes in the first couple of hours we were wandering off, you know, digging around the planet, and at some point we were going so far that we couldn't get back to the ship. It was so far away, so we restarted the game. And also the other you know, the interface of the game, everything in the game, the interface, the inventory system, you know, the cost, the bugs, random events. It seems that everything is conspiring to bust your nerves, to infuriate you. For example, the inventory system is one of the most stupid inventories that I have ever seen. You know, every single object that you craft or that you collect takes one space. One space for 10 tons of plutonium. Okay, and then next to it you have one space dedicated for a single chip, which is crazy. And the initial inventory is very, you know, there is an inventory for yourself, for your spacesuit. There is an inventory for the starship, but there are very few, I mean, 5 or 10 slots. That at the beginning you start, you know, going around with a mining gun, and you collect all kinds of resources from, and you, in the first few minutes, your inventory gets filled up with useless garbage, because you don't know what to collect. Then you realize that you have to, there are those annoying and very quick notifications on the lower right corner, I think, that you have to collect this and this and this stuff to fix your ship, or to do whatever is required for at this certain point of the game. So it's all hit and miss. You don't have, there is no help, no instructions, nothing. It lets you figure it out everything by yourself. So, and yeah, I mean, there are games from the, I remember from the Amiga, the Bard's Tale games or the other RPGs and games that had the major slots of the inventory were dedicated to big arms, swords, shields, and then they were the smaller objects, stones, potion jars or everything. They took 1/4 of 1/2 of a slot, so they were this is very stupid interface, very simplified interface, and everything in this game is very simplified and dumbed down. I mean, the other the other ludicrous thing. The spacefaring and space combat is awful. I mean, Elite Dangerous seems like a NASA simulation compared to this piece of junk. I mean, here's an example to give you an example. When you are in the middle of a fight and you dogfight with space pirates, and you are getting your shields depleted, you're searching for combinations. You try to, but there are no indications. The cockpit is ornamental. There's no functionality in the cockpit. So what you have to do to replenish your shields or your lasers or to fix a damaged system is to go to the inventory, the Starship inventory, and click on the broken system or the damaged system, and then fix it using a resource that you have mined. What? What? And the action doesn't stop while you bring up the Starship inventory. It's completely unintuitive. So when after the first couple of hours to when we finally got the hang of the basic stuff, and we understood more or less what the gaming was requiring from us. Inside the space stations you meet with all those grotesque looking aliens, and you interact with them with very stupid and very simplistic dialogues, and at first you don't even understand the language. And there's another silly aspect of the game. In order to understand the language and to interpret, to translate what they are saying, there are random derelicts on various planets that when you go there, you collect certain stones or something, and each stone reveals you a word from the vocabulary of this particular alien race. Completely random and arbitrary. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. The other game, the other crazy thing about it, I mean, when you go down to a planet, you can bring up this this sort of map that just pulls you out from the 3D perspective and presents you with a rough estimation of the surface and the locations of some basic minerals that you have to mine. But there are no, you can't pinpoint your location. You can't map a route. You can't put waypoints. And when you take off from the planet and you come back, everything's changed. I mean, the basic geography and the base, the basic, composition and nature of the planet stays the same, but you cannot. It's regenerated again. So what's the point? You cannot leave your mark. You cannot create things. You cannot create a base on the planet. It's as if your existence has been wiped since you took off this planet. When you go to a space station and you land in the hangar, you may be able to see around you some ships, 3 or 4 alien ships. And when you click on them, you can the pilot of the alien pilot of each craft may appear, and you can initiate a dialogue. And actually, sometimes you can purchase the ship from him, because at first the initial craft that you're given is like so underpowered and so ugly. It's like a Fisher Price toy. It's like so stupid. Anyway, when you initiate the dialogue with the alien, and for example you come to an agreement that you want to buy his spaceship, and you enter the space station, you leave the hangar. If you open the door and go back to the hangar, there's a very high chance, it's most probable, that the ship will have taken off. It will have disappeared, and other ships may have come in one instant. When you open and close the door, and the hangar will be completely different. Random generation of stuff, randomness. There's no stability. There's no, it's very frustrating. So random stuff without any meaning, I remember, because I had followed a bit some developers' diaries from this game, and at least half of the things that they promised was absent from the game. I remember he was talking about the spokesman of the company that made the game, Hello Games. I don't remember his name, but he was telling about the ecology of the city. There is you can observe the fauna and the flora, the animals and the plants of the age, and you can give them names and you can photograph them, which is true, but it's pointless. Apart from some credits that you get, what's the point? When you leave the system, first of all, there is no chance that another player may come down to the planet and see that you have baptized the system, the planet, or you have discovered. You know, there is no point in claiming a planet or a previous unexplored system, you know, because no one will see it. So, for example, in Elite Dangerous, you can see that this system was first discovered by this player, and it's actually true. But here, everything has no meaning. It's just this stupid grind of, you know, mining and fixing things and building stuff that you can, you know, boost your hyperdrive to. And there is this linear path, you know, this each system, each star system is like a pearl necklace. You cannot deviate because there is a certain path that leads you to the center of the galaxy, which is supposed to be the end game. So again, oh yeah, the ecology. Yeah, you know, when you know the famous first demos with the huge dinosaurs and the big serpents that were like the giant worms from Dune, and all this epic stuff, you know, the predatory animals chasing after herbivores and stampeding through vegetation, and you know, all this exciting stuff that yeah, nowhere in the game, you know, you have these stupid animals, you have this. Sometimes the creatures are small, like those fairy animals from the original Star Trek. What the Trebles? What were they called? Stupid designs. You have some chubby animals with the body of like a rhino and a head of a feline, of something like resembles a cat or a rodent, or very comically designed animals, and all they do is run around. They walk around. They stop for a minute, they growl. That's all they do. They don't have, they don't do anything. They don't graze. They don't, you don't see any flock of birds or any. Very random and very sparse and uninteresting animals. You don't see any colossal, you know, any imposing dinosaurs that you were promised from the demonstrations. There's nothing like that. You can see, you know, some very strange, and every planet has his has a little different variation of in plants and animals, but they're not drastically different. They are not dramatically different. It's obvious that the developers worked on a very limited range of possible combinations, and you know, if that's the game for on the later stages, so boring and so, you know, it's this game is like a summation of sub-games, a sum of sub-games of very mediocre games that make a very mediocre total. You know, There's the space combat system is mediocre. The mining, the crafting is very rudimentary. There is no creative aspect. You cannot build things like Minecraft. You cannot. There is no interaction with human players, nor multiplayer. There are no story-driven quests. Every quest, if you call it quest, is just a chore, a very boring and tiring chore to gather stuff and to fix this another system, you know. There's no, there are no side quests with a meaningful story to intrigue your imagination. The graphics are subpar. There is everything is so underwhelming and so repetitive, and we were very disappointed. One aspect that we enjoy very much is the music. The music is especially on the planet is very serene and very soothing until battle erupts, either with those drones, the sentinels on the surface of the planet, or with the space pirates. All of a sudden, and there's also this frustrating thing that those sentinels are on every planet. You don't know why they are there, who put them there. They are some sort of guardians, and some of them are less irritated by your actions than the others. So when you go to a planet and you have to mine several things, sometimes the sentinels, for no reason, they will just go around you whistling indifferently and leave you be. But other times they swarm on you, and then the serene music changes into this frantic music, and you are blinded by the lasers, and you try to shoot back, but sometimes there are 3 or 4 of them, and you're in the initial stages of the game, your mining laser is not very powerful, and you die again and again, and it becomes frustrating. So you cannot take a breather and bask at the beautiful landscapes on the horizon and the planets on the sky, etc. Because all this shit happens in the meantime, and you are always on the lookout for minerals, and sometimes there are these pointers on your heads-up display that indicate where the minerals are, but sometimes and at the beginning you can't understand this, but actually they're inside underground, and sometimes you can blast your laser on the ground and get under in underground caves, but other times you can't do that. Okay. And another stupid thing, this game is a fest of stupid little things, all accumulating together to make a frustrating experience. Sometimes you are told that you need metals, or you need copper, or you need zinc, and you try to blast on rocks because you think, okay, I will have minerals and metals, so I will have to blast on rocks to dig a little deeper. But no, you have to shoot at plants to get metals. What? You get zinc from plants. Usually when you shoot organics, animals and plants, you get carbon, but sometimes you get copper and zinc. That doesn't make any sense. It's very stupid. So yeah, we were very... I don't think it was worth the money that at least the game was... we got this... he knew this site that it's a price aggregator. When you go, you put the game, I don't know, I don't remember the link. It's a price aggregator. You put the name of the game, and it lists all the online stores that may have discount. And there was this, I think it was G2A or King Queen, I don't remember, couple of them, that had No Man's Sky in a reduced price. I think it was 42 euros, because the original, another thing, the original price, the full price of the game is 60 euros, 59.99, 60 euros from an indie game, which is in essence, it should be an early access game because it's unfinished. 60 euros for this crap. It's not a AAA game, not by any stretch of the imagination. It's, every other, at least, and that's the most infuriating thing, because every other game of this genre, the survival adventures like Space Engineers or Empyrean or Subnautica, they all indicate clearly that it's an early access game. It's a game in development, and they cost below 30 euros, 20-30 euros at most. But 60 euros? No. To me, it's unacceptable. At first, it gives you the impression that this planet has. We discovered the first, for the few times, the first few hours, you have this feeling that you reach milestones. You upgrade your ship, and you upgrade your suit, and you do this and that, and you have this false feeling of advancing, and there's no advancing, there's no progression. You don't level up. There's no creation. You're Mr. Nobody. There's no character generation, which is another huge lie from the developers. I remember this interview. It was with this famous comedian, Anyway, that this spokesman of Hello Games, Sean Murray, yeah, he said that when you go to a planet, and you now I forgot what I was going to tell you, but oh my god, this game is so fucking terrible. I mean, oh yeah, he said the host asked him, can you see other players? Will they be able to see you? No, you can't see what you look like. But the other players, when you meet with another player, they can see what you look like. But he said the chances of two players meeting each other are infinitesimal. They are so slim in this huge universe. And he didn't even say a galaxy, he said no, universe. We are creating a universe. No. Such hubris, such arrogance. I mean, why do they... I mean, okay, I understand you have to, prior to the release of the game, you have to be a little, you know, cryptic, not to reveal a lot of things, but this was it created the illusion that they were going to build this game of filled with possibilities, but you know, you could understand that he was being vague when he was talking about the ecology and that the planets were going to be they were going to have meteorological and geological features according to the relative distance with the sun, and no, that's bullshit. It's all arbitrary, it's all random, you know. It's the algorithm generating the planets, and that's it, with some general you know, crude, you know. First of all, you everywhere the same scale, every planet the same scale, no satellites, no gas giant planets, no ring systems, no, the asteroids are just giant rocks that you can shoot and gather the minerals. The gravity is everywhere the same. You have the feeling that each planet that you go is just coated with different coats of paint, you know. You have the same planet everywhere, and it's just a variation on the same theme. You don't see, there are no volcanoes, there are no volcanic activity, there are no huge canyons, there are no everything is bland, is very it's unremarkable, it's very unremarkable. And yeah, and it's a pity because from all the game genres, what I particularly like are the games with a space theme, the space themed games, from the Space Quest games, later on the Dig from Lucasfilm, which was an excellent space adventure, and later on, of course, Mass Effect, and all these space games are, and even most more humble games that what was this clone of Terraria with a space theme? Startopia, no, Starbound, which is very deeper, much deeper than No Man's Sky. It's a very nice retro 2D pixelated graphics, but you can raid the space stations, you can go to other planets, you can build houses, you can build forts. There are indigenous aliens that come after you. You can make allies. You can go to starports with many people bustling with activity. Here, it's like you go to it's a provincial universe, sparsely populated universe. There are no big cities. There are no large space stations. Everything is empty. It reminds you those early games like Myst. You know, all these games with beautiful graphics, you know, but empty, devoid of life and action. That's the you know, the feeling that you get with No Man's Sky. And all this bullshit that oh yeah, it's a revolution in games and nothing will be the same after No Man's Sky. And you know, we all learn these buzzwords, you know, every rock procedurally generated, every molecule procedural. Oh, bullshit, buzzwords, as if it was the first game that used procedural techniques. I remember 15 years ago procedurally generated games. I mean, from the 80s, early 90s, dungeon crawlers, and that were procedurally generated. Okay. And I remember games with more soul, with more. You remember Captain Blood, this game from the PC and the Amiga, with the strange aliens and you know, you have to decipher this language with this game has no soul, no. It tries to be a shooter, it tries to be a survival game and exploration. What kind of exploration? In the heart of exploration is the documentation, the mapping. There's no mapping. You cannot put flags. You cannot and come back later. You cannot establish a base. There's no exploration in that. Just photographing ridiculous animals and say this is Galacticus X Prime, or this is Galacticus. What is it? And it gets old very quickly, you know. Once you've seen a few planets, it's like you've seen them all. And I dread to think what the game was like before because After my friend downloaded the game, which was about 6-7 gigabytes, I don't remember, he downloaded another patch, a day one patch that supposedly changed the game completely and fixed various bugs, and you know, the game was not ready. The game was never ready. Another unfinished game. I mean, if we had bought a physical copy, then the DVD or the Blu-ray would be useless. Would be useful only for frisbee. Okay. Because the game changes completely after the day one patch. What can you say? This game has all it carries all the sins of the modern gaming, and overhyped, you know, unfinished, poorly executed, poorly optimized on the PC. And imagine, it was when it was first announced, before Sony taking over it and making a PS4 version a priority. It was a PC game. So this is another argument to strengthen my position that consoles, unfortunately, this generation of consoles is detrimental to the whole gaming, you know, to gaming in general. Because if the developers had focused on the PC version and actually took advantage of the superior PC technical features, we would have a much better game. But no, they had to make it simple, to dump the game down for console users. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Well, after watching the game halting to a crawl on my friend's system, I imagine what the performance would be on my own. I mean, I have a decent system, you know, a GTX 970, 32 gigs of RAM, SSD, okay, but it's a broken game. It's a broken game. And it's a shame, because a lot of people were expecting this game very impatiently, and actually what I'm looking forward to is the new Deus Ex game, Mankind Divided, which I just read that it has very positive reviews, so it must be a good game. At last, a good game. So yeah, No Man's Sky, what a disappointment. I had to see it with my own eyes to I don't know, maybe with you know, additional revisions they might be able to fix it, but I don't think they can change the core game, because the core game, in order to change the core game, they must do they must overhaul it, they must do very drastic changes, and I don't think they can do this. They cannot fundamentally change the game for the better, because it's like I said, you go from You jump from one sandbox area to another sandbox area, and it gives you the illusion of being fluid and open expanse. It's not. You know, they are cleverly masking the loading sequences with warping. You are warping towards a planet, you are warping from system to system, and but actually this takes 10 to 15 seconds, and this is actually loading and procedurally generating the next stage. So it's only an illusion. It's a superficial coat of paint, and underneath it is its emptiness. Very shallow content, and I don't know. If I can't imagine people actually enjoying this game for long. I mean, okay, you go to one planet, you fool around, you watch the sky, you watch the funny animals, okay, you do a little combat, then you go to a station, you discover the aliens, you go to another station, you are okay, but after a while, after the 5th, 6th, 7th planetary system, it's all the same and the same and the same. It's all the same. It's all variations, slight variations on the same underlying theme. I don't know how on earth they declared this game the best. Even before, I remember from E3 2013-14, you know, 20, 40, 50 nominations for the game of the year, the most, even before they knew any details about the game. How do they do it? How do they do this? All the media outlets, you know, GameSpot, IGN, etc. I mean, that's why I've stopped. I've unsubscribed from all these, you know, big media, gaming media outlets, because the only thing they do is either fueling the hype, the over excitement, or they bash a game, they bash it until it's dead. You know, they're always sensationalist, and I can't, no valid criticism, no, you know, objective viewpoint. So you have to make your own mind, and you have to see for yourself. And unfortunately, this time, as far as No Man's Sky is concerned, things are not looking good. And you know, at the end of the day, there are so many, you know, you don't have to feel, you know, bad about it. It's not the end of the world. I mean, there are so many games out there, and I think there are a couple of other games by the end of the year that are spacefaring adventures with procedurally generated worlds. So we have many games to enjoy, and many games still to come. So it's not the end of the world. And the only funny thing about this is that this guy, Sean Murray, is is the new Phil Fish. You remember Phil Fish from Fez? It became the embodiment of evil on the internet. You know, and after a while, he didn't even have to say anything. He was an asshole, of course, but after a while, he didn't even have to say something. You know, a troll came out, he tweeted something, and it was immediately accepted that Phil had said it. No matter what preposterous thing was posted on social media. So the game, so many memes. I've seen so many funny memes. So many. I don't know. And it's a shame because, you know, indie developers should be encouraged to do their own thing, but I don't like that they were dishonest. They were on the other hand, Sony was pushing them, and I don't know. They overreached. They couldn't handle so many, to fulfill so many the high expectations that they had created there. It was their own creation. I mean, they were to blame, of course, but anyway, so this was my brief experience with No Man's Sky. I'm not going to touch this game until it has been properly debugged and optimized for PC. And even so, I didn't like, you know, the overblown colors and the stylized graphics, and it's like I would prefer it more you know, more realistic, like Elite Dangerous. I didn't like the artistic choices and the depiction of this universe. So okay, a little more caffeine, and I will see you in another universe, on another parallel dimension.